Hello, what's up, good people? Good to see you. Now, you know what? Banks are collapsing. Now, the question is this. One of the two biggest banks in America just collapsed. And guess what? That happened in a matter of days, not even weeks. So the question is this. Can that have a ripple effect onto us in Kenya and actually get ourselves in crisis and into problems? Because right now, as we speak, the world is actually experiencing what we call the recession. And guess what? That's what I'm going to talk about, because at all this time, I'm always out there to make sure that I get this important information to you and share with you so that you don't get yourself into crisis or into problems, because this is a good Joseph channel. And guess what? Because I don't want you to miss any of this kind of a video in future, I want you to take 1 second. Just below there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that button. Then on your left, there is another one, a like button. Hit those two magical buttons, and guess what happens? Because I know you are asking, then you get notified whenever I upload a new video, so you will never miss any of my good videos. Now let's delve into this issue. Now, two of the biggest banks in America, one of it is the Silicon Valley Bank, and the other one is a Signature Bank. They just collapsed. People are panicking. People are withdrawing their money because they are worried that they can lose their money and actually halt what we call their day-to-day activities. Now the question is this: can halt have what we call a domino effect? Simply means, you know, what makes me happy and at the same time makes me sad is that this world that you're living in is very much interconnected, that when there is a cough somewhere, that thing can actually spread all the way to where you are. Take an example of what happened in 2020. There was an outbreak of COVID-19 from the Wuhan, and we experienced that in Kariobangi. So get that into this finance kind of a thing. So you find that a lot of things and a lot of banking system and what have you are very much connected all over the world. So you might find that one problem experienced somewhere might actually have a ripple effect to other country, and we can get ourselves into the issue. So the biggest question that people are asking right now: should we panic? Should we withdraw our money? Should we consider what banking should we consider what bank that you are having their banking services with, or what exactly should we do at this particular moment? Let me tell you one thing before I give you that answer in terms of yes or no. What happened is this: we can only be problem to our own selves. You know why? The moment you send a panic out there, let's say I go to a next bank and I say, hey, you know what, guys, you should head over there and withdraw your money because the bank is actually collapsing. So and everybody heads over there and actually demands to withdraw their money. You overstretch that specific bank to a point whereby, you know, let me give you a very simple example. There is something called a fractional reserve that a bank should usually have. Let's say you take 1,000 shillings to a bank and deposit out there. So they usually take the 900 shillings and actually invest that in either bills or bonds and what have you, so that they can be able to make money. And then they leave 100 bob accessible for you to actually withdraw it whenever you want. That's why right now, as you're speaking, you cannot just go to a bank and demand to withdraw a certain amount of money if it's a quite huge amount of money. You either leave or notice that you would like to withdraw such kind of a money or something, because that money is not there ready in liquid form. Fine, I hope I have used a simple language for you to understand. So whenever all of us shows up to the doors and would like to withdraw our money, so we send a what we call a crisis or a panic button out there, or a signal that actually overstretch that specific bank, whereby it actually forced to dissolve its all the assets so that they can make money accessible to the people or to the depositors who have actually deposited money with that specific bank. So the question is this: there is always what we call a regulation by the CBK. They must have a certain sort of a cap rate, a certain amount of money reserved in case of such happens. They can be able to question all those people. But my question is this: in this country that you're living in Kenya, I do not know how effective those rules are, and I do not know how exactly they can be able to protect us in such kind of a thing. So the question is, it's a game of wait and see. But if you ask me, should we panic? Should we head over to the bank and withdraw our money? I wouldn't advise that, because if you do that, we actually gonna create more crises and more problems that there actually are. Just remain calm and everything will be good. But this one thing you should always take with you is that the current world that you're living in, everything is connected, whereby we can have what you call a domino effect. A domino effect is simply like, I've ever seen some things where they're usually arranged in a line, and then you hit one, then goes ahead and, like, you know, collapses the entire kind of a thing or something of sort. Anyway, I mean, that's a kind of crooked way of explaining to you what a domino effect is. The world that you're living in is very much interconnected, be it either socially, morally, financially, and everything. It's sort of a global village or something of sort. So I do not really advise somebody to head over and send that signal that banks are collapsing and what have you. What I can say, we can only just hold still and get to see. What I can tell is that if there are people who actually watches my videos and happens to come from the bank system or whatever, they should actually assure us that everything is safe, because I haven't seen people talking about these things that actually happening out there. And I used a very simple example. Wuhan, or rather a COVID-19 actually started in a very simple place, a marketplace in Wuhan, all the way in China, and we had that problem in Kariobangi, Karioko, and what have you. So anything is possible and can spread anywhere. All right, and of now, by the way, everybody is crying that we are living in a hard economic times, and not only in Kenya, and not in Africa, not even in Europe or America, but the entire globe. So the question is, are we safe, and actually are we doing that is what is necessary to be done for us to don't get ourselves into the same problem? The thing is this, even the COVID-19 started just like a joke, and everybody were like, those are China's issues, those are whatever. But look at why it happens, like the entire globe was affected. So as of now, we should take that issue that is happening in America as far as those banks are concerned, so that we don't get ourselves into crisis or problem. So now this is the ultimate answer that I'm gonna give to you. Should we panic and should we head over to the bank and withdraw our money? In terms of yes or no, I will say no. Just remain calm and everything will be cool and we be okay. Provided you know very well that bank that usually bank with offers that what we call the quality services is quite a good bank, and by the way, before you even put your money in any bank, it's always good to make sure that you at least have a clue or an idea how many in terms of an asset that bank usually have. Usually, I do remember there was a time we had a bank called a Chase Bank. That Chase Bank actually went under what we call the receivership, because basically in a simple language, like what the customers or depositor were asking vis-a-vis what they had was not in line, so they were not able to meet all the demands of the customers or the clients or the depositor or whatever the thing you want to call them. So that is usually a red flag that we should always be considerate of for at all the times when you're putting our money into any bank of your choice. All right, so anyway, my name is Joseph. Talk about money, talk about investment, anything related to cash. I'm literally this guy who comes out and tell you hey, you know what is happening right now, this is what we should take, this is what we should leave, and this is what we should do as far as the money are concerned. All right, so if that's a cup of your coffee, and I bet it should be, then consider this place a home by giving this video a thumbs up and as well subscribing down so that you be a member of this specific channel. Comment down below, tell me what you think, and if you come from any financial whatever, just tell us what's happening, what are the managers saying, and how are we safe, so that at least we don't send that panic button out there. So what should we do? Tell me out there, or what you're doing actually as of now. Or should we go and withdraw our money and put it in an asset? I don't know. So tell me down below what you think is the point. Anyway, and maybe you're out there, you would like to put your money into investments, but you do not have an idea or where you can actually put your money. Because right now, as we speak, it's usually the best time to invest your money. If you do not have an idea, guess what? I got you covered. I got books about shares, I got booklets about money market fund, about treasury bills, treasury bonds. I'll never forget to remind you of those. And you can get a copy of them by just clicking, or rather getting my number from the description of this specific video. Text me on WhatsApp, you get your copy. It's only $2.20. It's as simple as that. And all the time, remember, knowledge is a potential power. That's all we do it. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one. See ya.